Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Here is Volodymyr Kadansky, and you're on the Freelancer CEO podcast. Today, I want to talk about time tracking, but this time, I want to analyze from the perspective of organization and see what data it can be provided if used wisely. All right, so to better understand the time tracking value for organization, we need to start from first how you measure the work done by your team. It's highly unlikely you're gonna pay just by looking at the task description. You probably would want to start with an estimation. And every time the client comes to you, they might not be necessarily interested in how many hours you will spend for specific task or set of tasks, but they will be definitely interested in the cost and the timeline or when the task will be done. So let's imagine we have a project like you see on the screen, like 3M here. And without the time tracking, all I can do is log the task that I need to execute. I can assign people there, I can create a pipeline, but I cannot actually account how much time that is needed to be done. So ballpark estimation might be achieved by sitting with the team, speaking with them, and speculating. After this speculation, we can see a non-precise estimation of the project. And if something goes wrong, there is no way to analyze and understand where and when this happened. So this is one thing. Another thing is like when you come to a client, if there is some questions, lacking the precision might decrease the room for maneuverability. And it also makes you feel as a manager blind when it comes to edge case scenarios. So speaking more realistically, I never seen the business where it's not accounting the time and like hours in the business like software development. So if you want to measure the work done by your team down to hours, then you would probably need some tool to estimate time. And while you can estimate the time, it doesn't make sense to skip the time tracking too much, too much the actual time spent for task and for project. Moreover, having this information and using, let's say, hourly rates for compensation and remuneration of your team can help you create a result-oriented environment in your team when the people are paid fairly for the work they have provided. So, for example, in the company A, where the people are working and being paid for monthly, it's not clear how much time they actually spend per doing specific job. It's more like market-related average and some speculation going on top of that. But with hourly rating, it becomes way more precision, because instead of speaking of days or month, we speak about hours. And it's much easier to understand where the specific tasks is better suited for one team member or another. Now, let's speak about what aggregation it can provide, because on the scale of 1 or 2 team members in your team and very limited amount of tasks, it does not shine as much as, let's say, you have like 10 or more team members and several projects. Now, having everyone following the time tracking, you can figure out the cost forecast based on the information collected in the past. So historically, you start generating data which is very unique to the to your organization, to your team, and to the way you work. And over the time, like you can see on the screen here in the work layer, for example, we can aggregate these stats and show global level kind of information for the whole organization and see like how efficient specific projects are. And this might become a good ground for personal development plan. For example, in our company, we use it because if person does the estimation, they usually focus their attention on analyzing the efforts needed. And when they actually execute, over the time, they learn to have a more precise estimation, which means you have more room to maneuver if something goes wrong. So if you know that the project is estimated and on average your team has like up to 20 or 15% error rate, it means like they might finish it faster or finish it slower. You know how much buffer you need to put into the contract so you don't end up going negative or going out of your goal range for the margin. So time tracking offers you the better way and clarity on how the work can be established with having this precision. And the precision inside the work layer, and I believe other systems as well, like Hubstaff, for instance, it goes down even to the next level, to the 10 minutes chunk. Here, it becomes a tricky ground when you don't want your team to become unproductive by micro-controlling them. So from our experience, I mean, we've been tracking time for the past 8 years. We've been working hard on the features that would not distract your team, because if they constantly think about time tracking, this is not efficient. And we believe that if for some reason the team member does not track time per specific task or just failing to use this process, then this is something wrong with the process in the first place. If it's extremely easy to use it and it's a no-brainer, like for the team member, it should work. Otherwise, it should be somehow lightweighted, because anytime your team is tracking time, they give you data. They give you data in the process, which is aggregated over the time and give you macro statistics, which you can then utilize to increase the profitability of the company. It might help you promote the people that works the best. It might help you understand what projects are the most profitable and thus requiring your attention. And vice versa, it might help you understand who in your team needs a help, so you can improve their efficiency, or which project is actually non-profitable and some bias did not let you move forward. So the system that utilizes time tracking as an organization have much higher precision on understanding on their expenses, margin, gross margin and margin goals, and can forecast its operations in the long-term future. So I hope this was helpful. Please let me know in the comments, what do you think? And do you want me to elaborate further on this topic and maybe provide some more examples on how time tracking can help with practical examples to specific organization, like if you have a digital marketing agency or a design agency or software development agency, how and what steps you need to take to incorporate time tracking without reducing the productivity of your team and, well, simply not pissing them off, because this subject is usually surrounded by very negative aura, which I believe was artificially created by mismanagement of people and their desire to micromanage instead of having a more peaceful and friendly environment which works for both organizations and the team. Like this video if you enjoy it, subscribe in order not to miss any future update, and I see you in next videos.